got our first speaker, who's the Vice Chancellor of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, and one of the key partners, supporters of the African African Student Energy Summit. Yes. And as I said last night, a key stakeholder in ensuring that this event is taking place. Without his support and the support of this institution, this conference would not happen. So we very much appreciate that support and partnership. Well, as I said last night, we should have had the Vice Chancellor addressing us last night, but he had other engagements, and we're really privileged that he's taken time out of his busy morning to speak to us this morning. Thank you so much, Vice Chancellor. Over to you, sir. Yeah.
Good morning, my dear students and friends, visitors, and all the delegates for the conference. I need to apologize for last night. In my plan, I was supposed to be here with you, but unfortunately the annual general meeting which we attend, which was scheduled a year ago, was not able to finish on time. And by 7:30, I was still trying to make attempts to come, and it was then really too late. So my sincere apology for that. I wished I had had an opportunity to be with you yesterday. I know Liz from the past.
Don't show my age.
One day, I think we were introduced when I went to Manchester. It was a university called Manchester Institute of Technology. And in the process, Liz was doing a community-based project at the university. And this professor says, you must meet Liz. So we went to go and meet Liz, and she really infected us with her enthusiasm. Since that day, I think wherever we had an opportunity to connect again, we always do. And she's been part and parcel of many initiatives in South Africa. And for some reason or other, she got wind that I'm here. She just got wind that I'm here, and she frantically phoned and left a message on my cell. And when I heard the voice, I said, no, it's her voice. I have to talk to her. And the rest is history. That's why you're here. You could have been somewhere else, but that's the reason why you're here, because of the special relationship that I think we have with Liz. But that was not the only thing. What really excited me about the concept was that this is something that dovetails exactly. It is aligned to our own strategy at CPUT, and it is targeting young people. For me, that was the most powerful message, because as you see from these specs, we are in the process of creating futures. And if you then add another word called sustainable futures, that's why this conference is indeed very, very powerful. And the fact that we're likely to be one of the few African countries to host this, culminating into the global conference, this is for us as a university a privilege and an honor to host you. So I want to welcome all of you, all the delegates from all over the world, and all the speakers who are here. I met a few young people from Nigeria, and so we started making friends. And if one thing you must do, you must meet a person that you have not met before. You must make friends with somebody else new. It's very, very important when you come together. The African Student Energy Summit, it is an extension of the very successful and prestigious International Student Energy Summit, which was hosted in 2009 in Calgary. And I'm told that in that conference it attracted about 30 countries and it had over 350 students. In 2011 it was hosted in Canada, Vancouver, and the number of countries and students who participate is increasing. I understand that this one is a regional one, but at the same time as we host this one, there are other regional conferences that are taking place in different continents. And the purpose of this one is to really create a platform for young people, students, to begin to talk about their roles and responsibilities to a future that is forever sustainable. Now that's a very powerful message for the young people, not for the older people, for the young people to begin to engage and talk and even understand their responsibilities for a sustainable future. Obviously, energy is pivotal. It's key. But it's really about the future that I think we all face. I used to work at TUT, and a few years ago, as early as 2006, I had a discussion with the SRC, and I said to the SRC, what is your role in creating this future that we all are looking forward to? And we explored quite a number of issues, but what came out of our discussion was that the student SRC, student leadership, established what is called a Green Brigade. Now, a Green Brigade was a group of about 1,000 students whose message was to promote sustainable use of energy on campus. Now, you don't know how much savings we made, because what they did, the first thing they did was to look at how much energy we are consuming. Just to look at how much energy we are consuming and whether we are taking advantage of the modern technology to save the energy. And we discovered that we were able to reduce our energy because of the Red Brigade. Very simple things to see whether do you need to keep the lights on when there's nobody in the room? Do you need to keep geyser boiling for the rest of the day when you don't need the hot water? And so many other things that, and from that project, I think it taught me a lesson that indeed, in our own little way, we can make a contribution to sustain our planet. Now, this is so critical. Perhaps for the other countries it's not, but for Africa, this is very, very important, what you're talking about today. Because let me tell you that when you go to Europe, they seem to have reached plateau of growth. There's not much that can happen there. But an explosion is going to happen in Africa. If you look at the number of people who still do not enjoy the benefit of electricity, then you can begin to appreciate why your discussion is key, is very important. And how do we provide the demand for our people? How do we, in a sustainable way? And I think that's the question. And the other dimension, which is also key, is that the young people in Africa are in the majority. And you're going to continue to be in the majority for a very long time. And Africa cannot be sustainable in the future unless you begin to take an active role as young people. We have, our sell-by date is very close.
I told them that, yes.
Our sell-by date is very close. But you guys still have 100 years. So imagine the 100 years that you're going to live. What is it going to be like? If we continue to burn the fossil fuel, and just imagine, you have had an opportunity to visit Cape Town. And some of the people who look forward in the future, they think that if we don't stop this madness, global temperature may increase by just a marginal 2-3%, 2-3 degrees. And if it does, just imagine what is going to happen to this place where you are. We are told that the ocean will be covering this place here, so CPUT won't be there. If you think AIDS is a major disaster, you don't know what is going to happen when the temperature goes up. There will be so many bugs that we have not prepared for their treatment. So just imagine if you don't take responsibility for your own future, what is likely to happen in the next 500 years. And I think that the signs are there, that we have to take action as a continent, and as South Africa as well. We have all possibilities, and this country is committed to a mix of energies. It's committed to it. For the first time, we're going to be having solar farms, solar energy farms. It's not going to supply us with lots, but it's a start. It's an incredible start. This university is a very important national capital. We are in the business of educating future leaders. And I have said to my students that it is important for you to have lots of money, but it can't be all about life. Life can't be all about money. It's important, but it's not everything in your life for you to have money. You must think something unique. I tell my students that they must be socially responsive. They must understand what it means to be living in South Africa at this juncture, so that they understand the social justice. Those are the kind of students that I want, who have empathy. And the second dimension that I want of our students is that they must care about people before profit. They must care about people before profit. those of you who live in South Africa, we had a very longest strike in the mining sector. 4 or 5 months. And the battle is about profit over people. When they did the calculations, the sector is one of the highest, it's got one of the highest returns. I think they're talking about 23, 27%. Compared to other sectors where investors continue to invest. The platinum mining sector is, and the people wanted a little bit of that. You know what worries me? Is that those engineers, those MDs, come from our own universities. The CEOs of these companies come from our own universities because they have not been taught to prioritize people over profit. That's why we have this stalemate. And finally, I've said to the people who are designing the curriculum that I want each and every student who leaves the corridors of this university to have a course in energy sustainability. Just, some of you who have been to the US know that you can't get a degree unless you have done Constitution 101. If we believe that environment and energy is so critical for the future, it doesn't matter whether you're doing engineering, whether you're doing business, whether you're going to be an educator or a marine scientist, you need to be empowered to deal with the future of the planet. And they are working hard to make sure that this also becomes a reality for all our students. I want the engineering graduates who live here, when they go and start work, before they can put any production plant, they must say, what impact does it have on the environment? What impact does it have on the environment? How do we sustain the utilization of the energy? Let me conclude by wishing you well in your deliberations. I wish I could stay here and be with you and also contribute my own little ideas about a very important topic. But I know that you guys have wonderful, brilliant ideas. My last parting shot is that the world is full of ideas. The difference between the people who succeed is those who take ideas into action. So, if this conference is all about talk and no action, you will not make a difference. Let me welcome you to CPUT and hope that in your deliberations, in your conferences, you also have an opportunity to see our beautiful city. You know, the number plate called CA, it's an abbreviation for come again. Go and see the mountains and come again. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can I go? Yes, please. Thank you. I have to go. Okay. Please wait. Yeah.
On your behalf, I'd like to say thank you to the Vice-Chancellor for such a moving, passionate, empowering, I don't know, I just thought, oh, wow, how many of our Vice-Chancellors talk like this? You know, he didn't give us all this highfalutin professor language. He just talked to us as a fellow a human being. And we so rarely have this sort of conversation with people like our vice-chancellors. So thank you so much, VC, for breaking away from the mold and giving us a real stirring speech. Can we please give him another hand?